Hello and welcome to Relax with Watercolour. Today I'm in my hometown of Foxford and we're going to do a little painting this morning of the River Moy, early morning River Moy. So it's going to have a mistiness about it, the backdrop of the mountains, mist on the water, and then we'll have the fields and the trees and all of that. So first of all, I'm going to wet my paper. And this time my sky, I'm coming down my 2/3 way, and my sky this time is going to have almost like a two-tone effect. Just wet the paper here first. I'm going to keep part of my sky, which is this side here, almost white, so we have our light rising up from this side, and then I'm going to put my blues over on this side here. So let's see how that works out. I'm taking my ultramarine blue. And I'm going to add in a little bit of indigo. Another great colour. Ultramarine blue first. A little bit like that. And I just want to capture the little lightness of that just here. To keep this all away from this side here, and then I'm going to add in my darker tones now with the indigo and the blue mixed, and I'll put that on this side, and then all this has to be all reflected into the water as well. So we'll start off with this, and let's just see how this develops, because I want to keep this side here clear as much as I possibly can. Keep this clear as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to let that run into the white areas a little bit. This is going to create a kind of a misty effect, a misty morning effect. So we have our light coming from the left, and it'll get darker and darker as the night starts to recede. So just let that run. Here we are. Now from that, just let that rest there for a second. Now, I'm going to dry this now, and then we'll move it up onto our easel and we'll continue from there. Okay, let's put this up on the easel now. As you can see, we have our almost white area here, and then it's coming into the darker tones. So you have that area there where you have light getting into the dark. So it's the daylight going into the nighttime. Now, we want to put in our mountains here first. So you have to have the same, exactly the same here. So you have your mountains coming back here and then almost disappearing again as the dawn arises. So you've got to have the same effect with your mountains and headlands as we did with our sky. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of a tone of olive green. It's a colour that I use sometimes, and it's a great colour. And with the indigo as well, take some more water, so take some of the green and the indigo, and I mix the two together. There we are. Now I want to try and capture this mistiness here as well. So I'm going to start off, this is going to be fairly straightforward there. But then as we come across, I'm going to start to fade it out. So what I'll do there is, I'll just bring this down a little bit more here, allowing me to put in my mist. Now I take my detail brush, clean water. What I'm doing, I'm fading this out More clean water. So I'm fading this out here. Clean water. Fading it out here. This has gone off into the distance. This is going to create my mist. So this is fading off, faded away into the white, like that. Now as you can see, that mistiness is starting to appear just here. So we want to continue that theme through here. You're going to get run backs. Now a run back is where you see the paint, the two different drying areas like that. So I'm going to just fix a couple of those now in a minute. But it's going to add to our mistiness. So again, I'm just continuing with the clean water, trying to get that all to blend in. You can always, of course, add in darker tones to make any corrections. So clean water again. And you just put in a few little bits of tone here and there like that there. You can add that in just to create that kind of, that you'd know that there's a mistiness about it. A little bit here as well. We'll continue this on. Again, clean water. Clean water is the secret here. It's very important. You push that up in there. And that will create your mist. Now, because it's going to be a river, we also have to reflect everything into the water, including our mist. So as that's drying there, it's starting to create a few little images there as well, which is, I'm happy to let that do. And as you can see, there's a piece there I missed entirely. Grand. These little discoveries are just exactly what we want. Don't try and force the issue with these things. Let them happen, and if they do happen, those discoveries are very important for your painting. And in fact, you could even enhance them. So you could even put a little bit of dark tones around it like this. And there's an area there where it's got the light in it. So again, we want to try and preserve that. A few little more areas like this. And you can start to see the mist really happening there. There we are. Now I want to reflect this into the water now. So I'm going to put some clean water here, and then I'm going to put my reflections into it. Just little pieces like that. So clean brush, clean water. At this time, I'm just going to put the water here. I don't want to come back here or jeopardize my areas back here. So I'm just putting on enough water to allow me to get my reflections in. If you look side on with your painting, you'll see where the shiny part is where the water is, and the dry part is obviously where it's dry. So just want to put that in there. Be very careful. Bring that through. There we go. Now we're ready to reflect all this into the water. Again, our dark tones to one side, which is here. And I'm just going to drop them in like this. And as you come over, make them lighter. Like that. Now, we can also add in some mist into this now. So I'm taking a clean brush, taking some water out, like that. And again, I'm just going to tap in like this. That's going to create some chemical reactions there, because there's waters are two different types of drying times now here. So I'm just taking that out again, and I'm going to add that in. And again. So that will allow me my mistiness to come out. Yeah. Now, that's my reflections in there. I'm now going to go back into here again now and start building up my main area of fields and trees, and so I can get some more light into this side here as well. So I'm going to start off with my detail brush. Now this time I'm going into the indigo, and I'm going to create a lot of light over here, but I want to still show my light areas here, which is very important. So I'm just going to put in a few little brush strokes like this. And I want to show a lot of those light areas. And just from that there, taking my brush, making it damp again, pushing that through there, creating the mist. Like that. Back here as well. Starting point. And you can pull that up through there so it almost looks like it's behind that area there. So that kind of a mistiness effect, and we're going to work on that and build on that. Now, I want to get a tree in here, so I'm taking my big round brush like this. Said I do before on numbers of occasions, you push it open like this into your hand, like that. That'll open the brush right up for you. And welcome back to the program and to our Harry's Helpful Hints. Now today I'm just going to show you a few other uses that you can get with the brushes. Like the hake brush, for example, doesn't just do skies, it can do other things as well. I'm just going to take some paint, and I'm just going to show you what other things what you can do very loosely with the hake brush. Now if I'll go over here and start here. If you very carefully bring it down like this, you can get a little house like that. A little touch there. See a little house there. Now if I want to, say, put in a gate with some posts, I can do this with my hake brush as well. So if I put the brush here, there's a post there, just straighten that off. There's my post, put in my gate, just a little touch and lift, touch and lift. There's a 5-bar gate. And I'll put in another little post here. So for looseness, you can do this here. Now I'm going to try and get a boat in with a reflection just by using the hake brush. So if I start off here and I bring the brush around like that, and I go this way, I'm going to reflect all that into the water. There we go. I'll just put the cabin in here. And maybe a little funnel there. So these are things you can do with your hake brush. There's my funnel. Now let's go back to our painting. And I'm just putting this in very lightly first because I just want to make sure that I'm going in the right area. And as you can see, that opens up very nicely there. That's going to be covering some of my mistiness. It's going to come down like that. And then that's going to open up down here as well, like this. That gives me an idea where I want to go with everything. I have a lot of dark tones to get in here, and I want to also show these dark tones, reflect these into the water as well. We start off with a little bit of light red. Now just be careful with light red. Light red is one of those colours. It's a dominant colour. It'll take over other colours, so be very careful with it. And I'm going to add in my indigo. Now luckily the indigo is winning this battle with the light red. Just bring some more in there. I'm putting in a lot of dark areas here. And from those dark areas I'll create more light areas from it. Even up here. I'm going to leave some areas where I'm going to be creating light. This will come up here like this, part of the tree. Part of the water, which I will reflect. So you can see you can use this brush for making reflections as well. As you can see there, I'm going to do it again for you. Yeah. That gives a suggestion of movement. So these dark tones back here, cover that all off. I may have to darken that even more actually, but for the moment, that's fine. I want to take my rigger now. I want to create some little branches here from the tree. The tree's there a long, long time. Now I want to start darkening this a little bit more, and I want to concentrate on my tree there too. So I'm taking my indigo and my olive green and just push into my tree a little bit more there. Keep my darker tones towards this side here because my light is on this side. So just a few more little touches there like that. And as you come up here, that little bit of light, just let that happen. Dark tones. Now, let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's great. That's a good colour there now. Takes away that starkness. And just put a little bit up here. Bring that into it. And I want to get in this. The darker you make your paint and the more light you're going to put into it. I know that doesn't sound right, but it's actually true. I'll show you that in a minute. Keep those little light areas there, because I'm going to brighten those up in a minute or two. So those dark tones are very important. Now I want to take my detail brush and start working on that a little bit more. Start creating my mistiness back here. Just moving that around. Now, I'm going to now try and reflect my sky in there as well. So I'm taking a little touch of the indigo as well. I'm going to try and get that in a little fresh piece there on its own. Now, again, very careful with this. I want clean water. I just want to create a little piece back here. So a little bit of indigo. And just very gently start off here and then lean into it here. So you get those dark tones. And I'm not going to do any more with that there. That's enough. I'll just let that mix itself and blend down in. That's that for that. Now, coming up to finishing stages now, we have to try and get some light in here. I'm not just quite happy with that tree. I'm just going to do a little bit more with that. Just going to push some colour here. Now, I want to start lightening up. So one of the great colours is yellow, one of my favourite colours. So I'm taking plenty of yellow. And I'm just going to start putting the yellow now on top of this. This is starting to dry off really nicely now. So my yellow now is going to lift this painting up. So I'm taking a clean brush. I'll take my foliage brush and a little bit of water. I just want the brush to be damp, just damp. Taking my yellow. Now what I want to create light. So there's my light. That's coming in here now. Light's coming from this side here. So I want to create the light. And for all those people that say you can't paint light tones over dark tones, well, now you can, as you can see. Now I want to highlight my little posts, so I'm going to use the yellow to do that. Take the edge of the brush and just touch it. Just showing a bit of light. Like that. And just there's a little bend there where the bank starts to go towards the river. You can put a few little bits in around the tree here where the light is catching. As you can see, it's starting to transform the whole painting now, this bit of light coming in, a bit of yellow. This is an area on the Moy, by the way, called Carrigan. There we are, some light coming in there. Now I also want to put a few little bits of light down here. I don't want all that starkness to take over. So I'm just going to put in some little bits of light. See a little bit there, there's a little bit of light showing here. Maybe a little bit there. Just coming down on the bank. Maybe we'll just extend that down a little bit more. And there, that little white patch there. And maybe the tops of some of those little reeds. Get some little bits of light in there. Turn the brush side on like that. Now, there we go. So that's Carrigan on the River Moy near Foxford. And this is Harry Feeney, Relax with Watercolour. Until the next time, goodbye.